Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another discussion video. And today we have more of this thread over here. It is consistently growing, consistently getting replies on different topics, and at this point it's gotten even beyond snowballing, but kind of still stays in that realm. But today we have a couple of posts, and I didn't read them, but I kind of like went over them just to like the first sentence to see what they're talking about, so we can keep it all in one video, like just one topic in general. And today we're gonna be talking about equipment and spawns of like rare equipment in towns. We have one. There's another post right over here, and there's a third post on the next page. I'm gonna link this down below for you guys, but we're gonna go through it. We're gonna see what the devs have to say, and give my opinion like always. Alrighty, so we have a player asking a question and a dev responding. So the player, did you solve the problem like this thread describes? Because Sad Shotgun, which is another dev, mentioned that they were working on a different solution. So this thread is obviously titled, "There's a line of code in the do production method that prevents workshops from spawning most expensive equipment." So people have seen the code, and there's some code that says that there's pretty much workshops are being blocked from making expensive equipment, and that's kind of why it doesn't show up. And this might actually be a cool thing to actually look over more in depth. But let's see what the devs have to say about it, and let's see if this is completely true. If this is the reason why everything, not why everything, but why rare weapons and armors are very, very, very hard to find in Calradia. All right, so devs respond. While entering marketplace of town equipment, sword, armor, shield, bow, do not reduce money of town actually. Only trade good outputs reduce town money. Also, shops do not make profit from those non-trade good items too. They are out of workshop profit system since 1.0. Okay, maybe you remember when the game was first released, wood workshops and smithies were making 10k daily profit because it is not removed these days. So here we should not check town gold over output item price while producing equipment. Okay, so let's go back to this thread right here, because there might be some more stuff that needs to be read. Okay. Okay, so in this thread that the person mentioned, they are kind of talking about how prosperity and also how creating bigger items would increase the workshop output and stuff like that. And the dev is responding here, stating that output, like how much the items cost in the marketplace, do not affect how much the workshop makes. Not anymore. It used to, and that's why what's it called? Wood workshops and smithies made so much daily was because guess what? They can produce items that cost way more than, let's say, a brewery can. But that is not no more. And then he states, I reported this also to almost said a different word. Sad Shotgun 2, which is the other dev. He knows how this fix is applied, so it is similar to the thread. So sometimes these expensive items will be produced and added to the market. Higher chance if town has wood workshop / smithy. No relation with prosperity. It was a simple solution. Maybe later we can make it detailed, related with prosperity, but no need for now. We have more important problems. Anyways, let's continue with Snowball, and just wanted to inform you. Okay, so what he's saying right here is he knows about this problem. He knows about this, and he has talked to the other dev about it, but it's not as the most important thing to look over right now. And he also states that, let's say two more things. First, that the outputs of workshops have nothing to do with the item price that you see in the towns. That's a whole different thing. I'm pretty sure they sell from the workshop to the marketplace, and the marketplace sells to you. You can see it in that kind of way. So they make, I think, a static amount per thing they create, regardless of what it is, and then the marketplace makes it the price that it is, and that's what you buy it for. But also that what's it called? The expensive items are produced and added to the market. There is a higher chance that a town that has a wood workshop or a smithy will produce these items It has no relationship with prosperity, so regardless of the prosperity of the town, you won't see a bigger chance increase of higher items spawning. He says it's a simple solution for now. It's more rare. That's what he's saying. It's like it's a simple solution. Maybe it'll become more detailed and maybe it'll be related with prosperity, but for right now, that is not the conversation or the thing that they are working on right now. Which I agree, they are working on some things right now that are very important, as in clan decisions, kingdom decisions, diplomacy as a whole, alliance as a whole. I think those are very important, and I understand that this is also a problem, but this is something that can be worked on once the bigger problems are solved. But all right, next post. So we have another player, I think, making a statement, and then we have a dev response. So this is a great point. Winning battles indeed gives too much money, at least for the player when you sell the loot. If winning battles wasn't so profitable, the winning side wouldn't snowball as much, I think. Okay, so now we're going on to the next topic, which is kind of like looting and kind of getting high tier items from looting instead of just like, being in the shop, right? Alrighty, so dev response. Actually, I also reduced loot income and mercenary contract income by 15% at 1.5.7. I did not mention in the previous post. It's a minor reduce, but will make things a bit better. Also, as you said, loot income was huge compared to other income sources, fief taxes, caravan income, and workshop income. Okay, so we got kind of like a sneaky change for 1.5.7 where loot income as a whole dropped by 15%, and also mercenary contracts, which is how much money you get paid per influence that you earn. That was reduced by 15% as well. Interesting. Do I agree with it? Maybe. I didn't really see a big change in it because obviously it was kind of minor, 15%. You really don't notice it by playing it. But interesting. I think it does slow snowball down a bit, obviously, because obviously, the Khazaits, for example, they win a lot of their battles, mostly all their battles. And since it gives so much money, I guess reducing how much money it gives is actually beneficial to a more stable gameplay. However, players can complain about it because we are nerfing things which players already get used to, but this was obvious they were OP. Still, crafting exploit is not fixed, unfortunately. I have no control over these parts, so cannot fix. There it is. So obviously smithing is still broken. In my opinion, I'm going to keep it 100 with you guys. I think the problem with smithing, that it being overpowered is one thing, but it's a choice at the end of the day. Yes, I agree it should be fixed. I think it should be remade completely. It's not a good system really at all. But it's not something that you have to do in your playthroughs, and that's one thing that I kind of like. You can't avoid it. You can't go the OP route if you want to because it's pretty broken, but you don't have to, if that kind of makes sense, right? It's not required in the game. If it was required to do in the game to progress, it would be way bigger of a problem than it is now. And I think that's one of the reasons why it's not being worked on right now, because while it is broken, you can't avoid it completely in your gameplay if you wanted to and still do everything in the game, But I agree it should be fixed, but I think the devs are working on other stuff right now. Still, of course, winner side takes good amounts of loot and plunder money, 10% of money of lost leaders. Okay, that's actually how it works. Okay, so it's 10% of the money that the leaders had is what you actually take in. But I'm pretty sure 10k is the most you can take, right? That's another change they made a long time ago where 10,000 was the most you can take. Because I remember before that change happened, I used to get into some battles, and oh my god, especially late game, I would get into a battle with a very rich Khazate member. I would win and I would get 900k dinars just from him because he had 9 million on him because he was obviously super rich. That was the good old days. Nothing to do at this point. This is the basis of the game. Okay, for the 10% of money that you get from lost leaders. Also, in my opinion, high tier item prices should be lowered. There are items that are for 100, 200, 300k. This was normal when the game was not balanced, but currently making 100k is not easy as old days if you do not make the crafting exploit. Obviously, if you do not do smithing. Which I agree, it is kind of harder to make money nowadays than it was before. That is very true. Takes a lot more grinding, and obviously the prices and stuff is definitely harder. I do agree. Here is 1.5.7 expected value of loot per killed troop formula. Items drop according to the expected formula. Still 10,000 value cap can drop, of course, but expected total value of dropped items are determined by this formula. Okay, so there's a 10,000 cap on the money that you can get, and also there's a 10,000 cap on the items that can drop. Interesting. I don't know if I agree with all these caps. I'll be honest with you. I'll keep it a stack. But I guess it balances the game, right? What's it called? I lowered 0.5x from 0.6x here. You should divide formula value to 4 because of the high trade penalties of equipment. So if you kill 10 looters, level 6, expected loot value will be 10 times, Jesus Christ. Big formula, and that's how you get the amount that you will get according to old formula. Okay, so obviously this is your 15% less. Before you get 129 from 10 looters, now you would get 107. And here's the little formula if you guys want to see. Okay, interesting. So main points from this is high tier item prices will probably be lowered soon. Obviously, we still need to fix smithing. Loot income and mercenary contract income has dropped by 15%. Whenever you are the winner, you take 10% of money of the lost leaders. That's capped at 10K. And also there's a 10K item, what's it called? 10K item value drop. So it doesn't really go above 10K in any battle. I kind of don't like the 10K value drop for battles, but I guess. And also, the reason I don't like this, while it makes sense for balance reasons, the whole 10% of money of lost leaders and capped at 10K, I don't like it because in the late game, when you really do that huge fight of like 3,000 versus 3,000, I expect to find more than 10,000 dinars. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. And we have one more post right over here. All right, so player shows what's called the dev's a picture, and he responds. All right, so the player, some loot from a small group of forest bandits, or it was a small hideout soon after altering armor prices. So lowered armor prices would probably looting some similar to Warband than a current state of Bannerlord getting hundreds of dirty socks and ragged pants. What is this picture? Okay, so it's showing that obviously doing a hideout will give you like one of these higher tier armors or higher tier weapons. This just happens sometimes. And Dev responds, yes, this problem affects the game badly. I reported yesterday and we need to go over the item prices, lower them, especially high tier ones, and they said design team is working on it. Okay, so this is being worked on. Unfortunately, I don't know if I liked, again, I get it for game balance reasons. I get it. But it's just, I want to sometimes fight somebody who's like a little bit lower tier and get lucky and have this happen. You know, especially early game. You know, he's not early game because he has 35,000, so he's fine. But like early game, like let's say you're really struggling and you fight this one group and you know, you expect only to get like 200 worth of, you know, maybe $200-300 worth of equipment, but you find this equipment in there. I think there still should be a chance for this, in my opinion. I think you should still have a chance of just randomly receiving something better than you expected. I think that's good gameplay. I get, again, balance, I understand it, but this shouldn't just be completely nerfed out of existence. And I think that this whole 10,000% of money to lost leaders, I think there should be some perks that give you more money for a bigger percentage of money, and also should raise the cap of 10,000. I think maybe that 10,000 cap should coincide with your clan tier. So the higher clan tier is, the more gold you can loot. So if your clan tier 6, I think the cap should be up to like 50k, maybe 60k, something around there. It should go up because late game, it sucks, again, fighting a huge 3,000 versus 3,000 battle and only receiving 10k. It's kind of like, whoop-de-doo. You just lost. You might have lost in terms of value, you might have lost like 20,000 in troops value, right? Just to what? Getting 10k back, and then you gain 10k more for the items dropped. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think it needs to be evaluated. I think it needs to be tiered, either connected to clan tiers or connected to some type of perks. I think it needs to be. I think making the game. I think, and again, making it to the point where this doesn't happen ever, where it's just always just like the expected outcome is very stale, and I don't think it's the best. I get that this might be a bug, but I think it's sometimes, how sometimes games have bugs that kind of improve the game, and you're just like, wow, this wasn't what we wanted, but it works. I think this is one of those scenarios where maybe this is not what they wanted, but I don't think anybody's complaining at all. But again, like I said, I get it for balance reasons, but I think there should be a way to make both sides happy in this situation where this should happen. Maybe not as often, but I think it still should happen. But those are my 2 cents. Let me know what you guys think. Ask me any questions, any concerns, and like always, stay safe.